I always thought it would be cool if you could go back and listen to the day-to-day of today's highest achievers as it happened, as opposed to 30 years later after they've made it. I believe there's a giant disconnect between ground zero and the top floor because we only see the top floor and the top floor only talks about the top. How valuable would that be? And so it goes without saying, but I believe I'll make it there. And this is a documented journey through each level. My name is Bryson Sessions, and you are listening to the Bed Podcast.
So quick observation, I'm not sure if this will be the whole show or not, but it's just something I was thinking about. So here's what so I'm on my way to the gym. It's a fucking nice ass day. So yesterday was so bad, and now today it's because yesterday was so bad. Any small thing that's good today is just amplified as a result of the shit yesterday. So imagine like a baseline 0. Yesterday it took me like negative 100, and I might just be positive 1 right now, but that positive 1 is glorious because it's like I'm up 101. But anyway, that's not the thought. The thought was I was watching a video by Alex Hormozi again, and listening to a podcast by him. He's got a podcast called The Game. Talks about like business lessons, what he's doing. But he's on almost the $1 billion level. So it's I'm not even close to touching him, and I won't be for the next 30 years. But anyway, or maybe 20. I don't know. Anyway, fuck. So I'm watching a video, and he's sitting. He's got his webcam or whatever, his laptop. I don't know. He's sitting in front of the computer. He's just talking about a certain thing. And then this video might have been recorded, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know. So I think that put him at age 28. I'm about to be 27. And July 3rd. So real quick, so that'd be episode 16, episode 56. So it's close to 260. Let's see. 259, I think, might be my birthday. Or I guess when it drops, it would be, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Hell yeah, dude, 2 minutes into the show, I haven't said shit. Great. So I'm watching the video, right? And he's in this empty room. It looks like a newer place, just judging by the walls and the I don't know what you call them, the floorboards, the wall panels, don't know. Judging by that, the way it's painted, everything, the door structure, it just seems like it's a new place. And the only thing that's in there, the only thing, is a whiteboard. And I'm like, wow, dude, that's so cool. That's exactly what I got. I've got 2 desks, though, so I might be one up on him there. But I've got 2 desks, a shelf with books on it, and then everything else is on the floor. But all he's got is a whiteboard that's on the wall, and he's got a whole bunch of writing on it, like me. And I like to see that shit, because I'm like, oh, so that's how you started, or that's how you are doing your thing 5 years in, or that's what's important to you when you're making $1 million or whatever. Because this was, I can't remember, 4 or 5 years ago, and even then, I'm sure he was making millions, like monthly. But anyway, so I see that, I visually see that, and I'm like, dude, that's so cool. Like, I can relate to that because that's what he's doing. That's what I'm doing. Or, excuse me, that's what he did. And that's what I'm doing now. And so not only is that, for me, an indicator that I'm on the right path, but it makes me feel not alone because I'm doing a whole bunch of shit. Yeah, this is going to be a longer podcast, I think. But I'm doing a whole bunch of shit, and it's nice to feel not alone in my journey in doing all this, because it's not like I can just call up, cousin Tony and be like, hey, well, actually I have a cousin named Tony. Cousin Bobby, I might even have hold on. Family for listening, let me know. I could be Tony for sure. Bobby? No, we don't got a Bobby. It doesn't fucking matter, dude. Cousin Bobby. I can't just call up cousin Bob. What was I even saying, dude? I don't even know what I was saying. I can't just call up cousin Bobby and say, hey, what was I fucking... I'm going to rewind. Hold on. What the fuck was I saying? Dude, somebody get a tally going of how many times I've had to do this while recording the show. I just lose my train of thought so easily. What's going on here? Anyway, so it's not like I can call up cousin Tony and be like, hey, man, so did you do this when you had this thing going? Or did you do this when you had this thing going? And, let's keep this rolling, bro. I'm about to go. I'm hitting the gym right now. I got to go through the little, I don't know, the gate. That's what they call it. Military gate, checkpoint gate. Here we go. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. All right, good to go. Have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
Of course, thank you.
So it's not like I can just call up Cousin Tony and be like, hey, so what did you do when you had this? Because, like, I don't think I have any friends or relatives that are trying to do even close to what I'm trying to do. And that's not like a downplay or anything like that. It's not, oh, I'm better, I don't give a fuck. But equate that to, like, imagine, because in my family, we've got a lot of car guys. So it's not like being the one lone car guy and then you can't just call up Uncle Tony and or Uncle, who gives a fuck? And say, oh, dude, what did you do with this car? And so, okay, what I'm trying to say is, if you're a car guy, and nobody in your family, and none of the friends that you have, and nobody that's, like, in your circle is a car guy, you're just alone. You don't got anybody to just call and be like, hey, so how do you change oil? Oh, hey, what's the carburetor shit? I don't know what any of that is. You don't have that, you know? And so likewise for me, with the thing that I'm going for, like, I don't have that. I have people that have knowledge in certain areas of what I'm trying to do, but as far as the full picture, like, I don't have anybody like that. And that's okay. A lot of people don't. That's not a pity part. It's fine. But what I'm saying is being able to see Alex and his room be just so blank, and he's got a whiteboard with a whole bunch of shit on it. I couldn't read it. But he's got that. And that's what I have. So, like, already there's that super, I guess, basic level of commonality, if you want to call it that, of what we're trying to do and how we think the best way to get there is. Because he doesn't have any furniture in there. Now, it's just a whiteboard, and it's a new place. You can tell by the walls and the door. Or at the very least, it was refurbished. Doesn't matter. What I'm trying to make is we got that one thing in common, or we're similar with that one decision that we made. So what I'm trying to say with that is, it's cool to have that. It's cool to see that. It's like a key indicator that I might be on the right path. And here's the other cool thing. So in his podcast, he's talking about how so for some context, he's got his podcast, and he actually, I listened to one of his shows, and he said he wanted to document his journey because he wished Warren Buffett and Jeff Bezos would have done the same thing. And that was actually, I found that out after the fact that I had been recording, I think, like 150 episodes. So I was like, no fucking shit, dude. That's so cool. He's doing it much more detailed on specific things, I think, than I do, because I'm literally documenting every single day, and the thoughts that I have every day, the lessons, everything, every day, even if they're super tiny and, you know, almost incomparable to really anything else. I'm just trying to share every single thing, because I want people to feel not alone later. And that's pretty much the whole gist of, that's the whole motive, I guess. So anyway, I was listening to his podcast, and he's talking about how he would upload 3 or 4 times, or I think it was once a week or twice a week, something like that. So I'm once every day, so already different. But he's talking about how he gets 2,000 to 3,000 downloads per episode, per month. And I was like, dude, I'm at 500. Oh, holy fuck, I'm almost to Alex's level. But then he was like, yeah, I upload once or twice a week. So that means 8 episodes gets him 3,000, you know. And I have 250 episodes, and I haven't even touched 1,300. I just hit 1,200 though, so that's cool. But there's just some comparison. So anyway, Jesus. So I see that and I hear that, and I'm like, dude, that's so cool, because he's sharing where he was then and what he did then with the stats and the whatever that he had then. And that's what the fucking intro of the show is about. You know, people at the top floor, and the top floor meaning that they've made it in their business career. They're making millions, if not billions. They're well known, like that top floor, you know. And if not the top floor, at least within the top 10 of the World Trade Center before it got hit. Don't cancel me for saying that, but that's a good, you know what I'm saying? Jesus Christ, bro. So anyway, it's so bad, dude. You know what, bro? It's just fact, okay? That's all it is. It's not even a joke. Like, that was a tall-ass building, okay? There's a lot of floors on that motherfucker. And top 10 floor, that's what I'm talking about. So take World Trade Center out of it, replace it with tall-ass building, okay? It's just fact. It's not a joke, so don't cancel me. Dude, I'm willing to bet when I say shit like this, because I've said some far-out shit on this show before, I'm willing to bet that 10 years go by, someone's going to listen to a show and be like, hey, he said gay, and then there goes my whole career, dude. Anyway, so people on the top 10 floors, they talk about the top 10 floors and what they're doing there, but they reflect on what they did in the past for sure. But it's not from the perspective of then, it's from the perspective of now. Meaning, you know, some guy's got 4 Lambos, he's got a nice house, got a multi-million-dollar company, whatever, and he's talking about, yeah, when I had a whiteboard in my room and that's all I was doing. And it's one thing to talk about it like that, and it's one thing to try to paint a picture and almost romanticize the struggle and the work and the grind then. But it's another to actually see it, you know, to actually hear someone talk in the way that they would talk given the circumstances that they are in as opposed to what they were in. So I hope what I'm trying to say makes sense. That's the whole gist of it. But, dude, it's so cool to be able to see that. I don't know how to explain it, man. The point I'm trying to make here, I had to pause and rewind and I lost my train of thought yet again. But the point I'm trying to get at here is when you're starting out and you don't know shit and you see all these people with Lambos and you see people with millions of dollars in this or that or whatever your goal is, whatever the ultimate level of success is for what you're going for, whatever that is, when you see people with that and you don't see the last 20 years that it took for them to get there, it's really discouraging because it's like, dude, he just has it so easy. But it's like, no. He spent 20 years working his ass off to get to that point, and now it looks easy because the things that he's doing are magnified, or they're magnified because, for example, when I make a deal now, it's going to be $100. When they make a deal, it's hundreds of millions of dollars. So it's like, in one day, they made $10 million, but in the first 10 years, I'll probably make 100,000. You know what I mean? And so it's cool to see that because it's like, okay, so that's what they did. I can see that that's what they did. And I can see that they also were going through the mud. I can see visually or hear audibly. I don't even know if I need to say visually or audibly. Of course it's, anyway. I can see and hear those things through podcast or video and have proof that that's what they did. And so when I see somebody then who's made it now, it's so reassuring because it's like, oh, yeah, he's just got a whiteboard in his room and look at him now. That's what I've got, dude. So it's like, okay, that's all he had. Maybe, you know, I'm simplifying it to make a point here. But it's like, that's all he had. I got a whiteboard and 2 desks, bro. So, like, obviously I can make a lot more money because I've got a second, you know, and I'm joking. But it's cool. So the whole point that I wanted to make today, and I've said that 37 times today, but is I'm so glad that I'm connecting the dots with certain things like that. Because here I am on episode 241, June 16th, 2024, 9:58 a.m. Pretty crazy. Here I am, you know, observing that. Here I am starting my show. Here I am doing all that. And I'm connecting the dots on all of these things. And I'm just like, dude, as long as I don't quit, man, as long as I keep pushing, as long as I keep showing up every day, there's no way in hell that I don't make it to where I'm trying to go. There's no outcome or scenario where this doesn't play out in my favor, as long as I don't quit, I don't die, and I keep pushing. Like, that's it. You know, the fact that I worked a 14-hour shift yesterday and I'm able to have such a positive outlook, that's so much growth for me. And that, dude, I would have probably taken so much shit back to the terminal and said, hey, FedEx fucked up, I'm not doing this, you know? And I still think that might have been an appropriate thing to do, but if you keep the standard high and you push yourself to that certain level, whatever that is for you, and you stick to it, I think that's where more growth happens. Because it's like I said at the very beginning of the show, I'm now having a tremendous day because yesterday was harder and more difficult, but because it sent me lower on the baseline graph of happiness or whatever, today I don't really need to do that much to have a great day. You know, if I went skydiving today because yesterday was so bad, I'm sure I'd probably die on the way down just because of how euphoric I'd feel, you know? So, yeah, all that to say, it's cool as shit when you can see somebody who's made it, when you can see old videos or photos or hear old thoughts of when they were going through it, you know? And I mean going through it as in like the first 10, 15 years or whatever they're going through to make it to wherever they're trying to make it to. So that's pretty much all I wanted to share. That's the thought process this morning. And it's kind of cool because I was just driving to the gym, had no thoughts about this. Then I thought about the video. I'm like, dude, holy shit, we've got that in common, and he's made it, and blah, 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 and I can see, and whatever. So anyway, that's it. I'm still rambling and shit, but I think I've got people in the car next to me looking at me like I'm weird because I haven't stopped talking. Here, I'm gonna share one more thing. So insecurity sets in because I'm sitting in my car. I don't got tinted windows, and I'm just talking. And in my mind, it's like somebody's been watching me talk the whole time and move my mouth. They haven't watched me stop, so they probably know that I'm just talking and talking, and that the person on the other line is probably like, "Man, shut the fuck up, let me talk," or something like. Honestly, that's what goes through my mind. So nobody talks about that stuff though. Nobody shares the insecurities, the absolute. What's the word? The absolute. What's the fucking word, dude? I don't know. Unreal. Not unreal. Exaggerated. I don't know what I'm trying to say. The exaggerated thought process and insecurity of overthinking, you know? Because honestly, this person in the car probably looked over at me, saw me talking, probably didn't look at me again afterward, or for the whole rest of their car sit. And they didn't put two thoughts into it. But here I am sitting here like, oh, dude, what if they're looking at me? But proof that I'm growing and I don't give a fuck as much is that I'm still talking and I'm still doing my thing. Matter of fact, I'm going to look in the direction of their car right now and I'm talking, and I'm going to that's what I'm doing. And it feels weird, dude. But yeah, I'm just trying to be vulnerable and capture all this shit on camera, because someone will be like, oh yeah, dude, I had the same exact thought, but with this thing. And that's what it's about, dude. So if I can help one person at least not feel alone, or feel like they can relate to me and what I'm going through. Because I'm sitting in my car and minding my own business, and somebody is in the car next to me, and I'm just overthinking everything, bro. They're probably on their phone playing Candy Crush, you know? And I'm like, oh shit. And that's another point. Like, I would stop this whole thing because I was so insecure for somebody else looking at me, when in reality they weren't, and I made it up in my head. So therefore it's me getting in the way of my goals and dreams because of my made up scenarios in my head about what other people think, when nobody even thought about me in the first place. It's crazy. So anyway, I'm in the gym parking lot, so I'm gonna go hit the gym. And yeah, so that's a show. I appreciate you guys listening. It's 10:02 a.m. June 16th, 2024, Sunday. Yeah, that's it. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for listening, and quick reminder here. So this podcast doesn't prioritize professionalism or quality at all. It's just meant to be a shoot from the hip type podcast with the intent just to get a quick message out. So some episodes might be inaudible in 30 seconds, and others might be 45 minutes and super crisp sounding. So all these are being made so that by episode 7,305, which is 20 years, we can come back and see the entire playbook of how I made it to wherever I'm going. So thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon.